Hi, everybody. Welcome to MJ Comix. I'm your host, James Mack, and tonight I am joined by Daniel, none other than Mr. Sticky Goose Comics. Thanks for joining us, Daniel.
Thank you for having me on, James. I love that intro. I was kind of wanting to dance a little bit.
No, it's a Canvas special, mate. It's all free. Don't worry, it's all good.
Oh, you weren't like, on the ones and twos back there, like
No, no,
mixing
no.
it up.
No. I can sing, but I can't do any of that. But
Oh
no,
man.
I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I know we've like talked over Instagram in the past and stuff, but I've really wanted to get you on to talk to you because I find you very interesting. I find your channel very interesting, your content,
Thank
and
you.
I'd like the audience here in the UK, if they don't already subscribe or follow you, I'd like them to come and check you out and see what they think. But yeah, it's just I love like the content that you put out, even though it can be a bit decisive or controversial to some of the audience. But I love the way that it's humorized, and I think that's what you're aiming for, and I really enjoy that side to it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the videos I'm trying to make are trying to be entertaining,
Yeah,
get a rise out of somebody, and make somebody want to watch. I mean, my biggest fear is being boring. Like you can hate me, you can love me, but I just don't want to be like irrelevant, basically.
no. You're definitely not irrelevant, so don't worry about that. You haven't got an issue at all about that. But I would start off just would introduce the people in the chat just to see who's about. But we've got Stephen Blurry. Thank you for joining us. Daddy Goose is saying. We've got Chris Bell. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. We've got Jason Parker Comics. Thank you, Jason. Big fan, Jason. Thanks for joining us. We've got my wife. Thank you, wife, for joining.
Hey, wife.
We've got Comic Ron. Can't wait. This is brilliant. Thanks, Comic Ron. We've got Dan T. Thanks, Dan, for joining us. And we've got Manu in the house, the 9.9 newsstand. Thanks for joining us, Manu. Tonight on MJ Comics, the softer side of Sticky. Oh, don't want to get too sticky tonight, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. But no, thank you everybody for watching and joining us tonight, and I hope tonight is as entertaining as a Sticky Goose Comics video. So
I think it's going to be great, James.
that's brilliant. I just, to be fair, that we were speaking backstage about this, but your setup behind you is just incredible, and those little cases around the slabs really like pop. I really like them.
Yeah, they're ECC frames, eccframes.com. They are not, I'm not sponsored. I should be for how many of them I freaking bought, but like, dude, they really pop on the books. And I mean, I've seen some of the other ones, like the cheaper ones that you can get Amazon wise. And it just, I don't know, these ones, they're metal. I don't know. They're nice. I know
Yeah,
you like slabs too. So I know I'm not, alone
no,
here.
no. Yeah. To be fair, being like we're talking backstage, but like being a CGC comic collector, collecting slabs and whatnot, it's you nailed it right on the head. Like for us to get stuff in this country is a bit more difficult than it is for yourself to pop out to your local comic shop or to send off to CGC to get graded. It's a lot longer process for us. But I'm very much into everything to do with American comics. That's how I grew up today.
Honestly, that's what I was saying backstage too. I was like, the UK collectors and international collectors in general, like you guys are like the real ones. Like there's no debate on whether or not you guys are real fans because of just the hoops you have to jump through to just get stuff. It's crazy.
No, definitely, but enough. So if I start off with the first question, if you don't mind answering some very easy going questions tonight, if that's okay.
Sounds good.
So first question is pretty simple. Who is Sticky Goose Comics?
Sticky Goose Comics is Daniel.
Yep.
It in my videos, I am me, but I guess I'm a more flamboyant me, if that makes sense. I'm exaggerating my personality to to the extreme a little bit to be interesting, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I mean, if I was just like boring me sitting on the couch watching sports ball, probably nobody would watch. I'm sort of an introvert, honestly, but when the camera comes on, when the lights come on, the camera's on,
You come alive.
he's out. And
Exactly.
I do like to perform. I do like to entertain, and that's why I do this. It's fun.
Yeah. Sticky, talk some shit about Comic Tom and Gem Mint Collectibles. Well, we don't have to, but if we get onto it, we can. Amanda, good evening, and Julie as well. Good evening. Yeah, but so in terms of your channel, how did it come about?
I basically, I think it was 2020. It
Pandemic,
was
yeah.
COVID. I was like bored. I've been watching YouTube creators for years. I was like, what the hell? I can do this. I can do this. And then I realized very quickly how difficult it was. One, because I was editing all my own videos. Two, I was trying to be entertaining. I didn't really find my voice up until about a year or two ago. And I really didn't know what path, I didn't know what the channel was. And then I just started falling in love with comics. And then it became very clear that that was the path I was going to take.
Okay. So in terms of, have you done other stuff other than comics then on your channel?
So in the beginning, it was I started collecting statues because we bought our first home in 2019, and then as soon as I got some space, I was like, well, I'm going to fill it up with some shit. So I was like, okay, let me buy some statues to fill this room. And then I was like, well, hell, this is like a $1,400 statue. Somebody on the internet might give a crap about this, and sure enough, they did.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, let me make my display cooler. And then I was all of a sudden, I kind of got this cool room, and I was like, this could be something.
Yeah. I mean, those statues are very impressive behind you. They look like they're almost probably the size of me, if I'm being totally honest.
Well, they're most of my statues are third scale, so like they're the third of the person, I guess. But it's the statues are I really enjoy them. Like, it's just crazy that something like that is like less expensive than some of these old pieces of paper. It's just kind of weird to think about from like a collecting standpoint. And if you showed somebody that was not knowledgeable, this equates to this financially, they would say, how is that the same thing?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think with for me, I try to avoid trying to get into another collectible situation.
Right.
So if I got gifted something like that, one of them, then I would have no choice but to go down that road, and that's my personality. So I try to avoid getting into new hobbies personally. But
well, from your channel, I mean, you're a little bit into the Marvel cards, you're in a little to the video games. You're diverse in your collecting.
Yeah, but I've got I hand on heart, I don't have any more room or probably any more passion for anything else, if I'm being honest. Good evening, Captain UK. Thanks for joining us this evening. But so my particular first memory of your channel was, I remember about 3 years ago, you commented on one of my videos, and then that's how I discovered your channel. And my video was I did a very like, this is like probably like third video in on the channel. Maybe I needed some content to put out because I wanted to obviously give this thing a go. And I did a video of my daughter. I think she'd probably be 5 years old at the time, and she was from the cover. She was guessing what the first appearance was of the characters. And I remember you commented, and that's how I discovered your channel initially and subscribed. But let me just grab that comment. But yeah, you just commented saying very cute. I've got a very similar collection. Haha, almost too similar, which really resonated with me because I've that like those comics that that I had for a good while, and then when I discovered your channel, I thought, oh god, this guy's a bit like me. I think you probably must have started about the same time, I imagine.
Yeah. So I was looking at your video, like of your collection, and I was just like, same, 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 same. Like so many of the books we have are very similar. And
Yeah,
then we have, the CGC graded books. And it just seemed like you and I were very aligned with the decisions we were making, what we were
yeah.
passionate about, what we liked. And then the fact that you would include your family and your daughter in that, I don't know, just kind of speaks to who you are and why I think that I enjoy you and your videos.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate that. To be fair, when I'm watching your videos, obviously my eyes peruse to your back wall, and I'm like, I've got that one exactly the same. Like, I think we both have an Incredible Hulk 181 in a 4.0.
Right.
And that, like, I'm like, he's got this. I've got exactly the same book as Sticky. It's like crazy, absolutely crazy.
Well, it's just like that's what I could afford at the time.
Same. Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, crap, I could have had a better copy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've learned a whole lot about this comic game in the past few years, and patience is key for
It
sure.
definitely is 100%. 100%. We've got Daniel in the chat. Thank you, Daniel, for joining us. James Matt used to be called Sticky Comics. It was around the time he was collecting those Xena warrior princesses, I think. That's the amount of trolling we probably get on my channel. So
I mean, that's pretty decent troll.
Yeah, it's a decent troll. Evening, Daniel. Thanks for joining us.
Is everybody named Daniel in here?
Pretty much, yeah. They all heard you were coming, and you're not obviously the most famous Daniel in the room. But yeah, but yeah, in terms of comic collecting, then how did you first get into collecting comics?
It was my dad finding his collection, going through his storage unit, and digging in those treasures. I'd always loved like Marvel and DC characters. Specifically, I got into those heroes through the X-Men animated series, and then a board game called Hero Clicks. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Is that the little figure on top of like a?
Yeah, it looks like a little Oreo cookie that they're on top of.
Yeah.
And that's how I really learned about the heroes. And then as far as reading comics, the first comics I read The Watchmen in college. I read the Infinity Gauntlet. The stuff that everybody read. And then I read Preacher, and I was like, wow, this is something else. Have you ever read The Preacher?
I've never read it. I did watch the show, and that really drove me to thinking, you know what, I really want to read the comics. And I did. In fact, I think I downloaded a digital copy of the first couple of issues.
Okay.
It's Gareth Ennis, isn't it?
Yeah. And I've watched the first couple episodes. See, like I can't do the shows anymore. I can't watch them because the comics are just so much better in every way. Like I mean, The Walking Dead is better. Invincible is better. The Preacher is better. Like anything on the screen is worse than the comics to me. The only thing that I think would be close would be like Sin City. I mean, it's pretty beat for beat.
Yeah. What did you think of the Watchmen movie?
Oh, the Watchmen movie was excellent too. That's a good example. Yeah.
That is literally, when you read the comic, it's like literally this. It looks like exactly like the film, and vice versa. It's amazing.
Yeah, and Rorschach's portrayal in that was spot on, and he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, Jackie. I can't remember what his name was, but phenomenal actor guy who plays him. We've got Pete, Triple G Comics. I
watch his videos too.
Yeah, he's great. He's going to be. He'll be coming on soon, hopefully. But yeah. So, did you what comics did your dad collect then?
He was all DC. If he was a Marvel collector, we might be living in like the Bahamas or something.
Oh man, yeah.
Instead, now I'm living in hillbilly West Virginia. drinking Mountain Dew with no shoes. Like that's just because my old man collected DC, but he was like a war book guy. Like his father was in World War II,
Oh yeah.
and he had this infatuation with war stories, and that was a majority of his collection. Now he also had DC superhero stories, and one of the key books he had in that was Batman 181, the first appearance of Poison Ivy.
Yep.
And that's and I saw it, and I was like, Dad, this is huge. And it wasn't like, and he
Beautiful red
wasn't like
covers.
clipping out coupons, he wasn't taking out centerfolds. Like he was a collector even then. So
I think that book's got the pin-up, isn't it, of Poison Ivy in it.
it's got a centerfold of
Yeah.
Batman and Robin by Carmine Infantino.
Yeah. Beautiful red cover. I love. I've got a copy of that. It's a CBCS 3.0, I think. But yeah, beautiful book. And so, is your dad still collecting today?
He doesn't collect. He reads the books I give him. So he just read Sweet Tooth. Before that, he read Sandman. So basically, I read the stuff and tell him whether it's good or not, and whether I think he would like it. Like I don't give him like the woke stuff because I just don't think he could handle it.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "What is this?" So I don't know. I just
No, I to be fair, I did watch a recent video of yours where he featured where I think you go into a con, like Mega Con or something like that, I think, and he convinced you to buy him a CGC graded book.
Well, we've never been to a convention together, but I bought him the first appearance of Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos.
Yeah.
And he now wants more books, and he wants the first appearance of Sergeant Rock, which is, I think I can't remember, our Armies at War or something. I was like, dude, it's freaking $3,000 book. I mean, come on, bro.
Are you going to get it in?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
If he can get it for a good price, then yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is that book is actually rare. Like it's not like a Hulk 181. Like this book is like not out there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We've got a couple more people who've joined us. We've got Cole Collects. Thanks for joining us.
I've watched his videos too.
Hugh, thank you very much for joining us. But yeah, So okay, cool. So that's how did you first get into comic collecting? Next question is what motivates you to create content for YouTube?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ego, narcissism, the algorithm. I mean, honestly, I've taken a few breaks. I've taken like a month off, 2 months off, which is when you reached out to me and we kind of became friends. Like I pretty much started making YouTube videos again because of you.
Thanks.
And
that's amazing.
And some other people reached out and said, "Hey, where are you at?" And that's when I was like, okay, people actually do give a shit. They are watching. Because to be honest, I mean, I've gotten a lot of hate, some of it warranted, some of it not. And just reading bullshit all day, it kind of can take a toll on you, especially some of the things that people have said. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Because I mean, I make decent money on YouTube. But I mean, this isn't my primary source of income. This isn't a significant amount of my income. So I was like, why am I doing this? And to be honest with you, I enjoy it. I like making the videos. It is a bit of an ego trip. There's a certain part of thinking that somebody gives a shit out there talking to this camera alone in this basement with these ring lights. I mean, there's a certain level of ego that comes with this. But
you've got to be doing something right, Daniel, because you're nearly at 10,000 subscribers. You've got like regular, your videos are getting like nearly 4,000 views a video, and like you've got videos out there that are gone past 100,000 views. So there is an audience out there for you that do appreciate what you do.
And I realize that, and it's a I think some of it is I am a little self-deprecating, which I think is healthy. I think some more people should be self-deprecating. I think there's a lot of big egos out there,
Yeah.
but I think a little bit is healthy. Sometimes I'm a little bit too much, but I think that's what drives a lot of my humor specifically. I
Yeah.
think that's why people resonate with me, because I don't take myself too seriously. Also, if you don't like me, I really don't give a shit. You're either go sticky go, or F sticky F, because at the end of the day, I realized everybody's still watching. There are people that watch me to just hate me.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I realized that, I was like, holy crap, this
Yeah.
is working.
Yeah. You've somehow found like some sort of void where people want to go and watch either because they love your content or they hate it. So
Yes.
that is a really interesting concept. But do you find that you kind of like, you almost like, because of your humor, and I said this to you backstage, I said your humor is very dry, and it's almost at the point of like satirical.
Yes.
And I think with some people, they don't quite understand whether or not you're being for real
Yes.
or you're just taking the piss or taking the,
And you nailed it. I think a lot of people don't understand sarcasm, and a lot of my viewers, and you probably see this in your analytics as well. The people watching our videos and are in their 40s, their 50s,
Yep.
and they I think sarcasm and satire just does not click. They take everything literally, almost like a child. Like when you're speaking to your children, I mean, their concept of, I mean, can you be sarcastic with a child? I mean, it doesn't work.
No.
And,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, there are a lot of people in the comic book community that are not are mentally ill. There are people that, and specifically, there's people, with autism spectrum. Like, you cannot be sarcastic with somebody that is on the spectrum, because they don't understand it. They take everything literally. And I think I've triggered a lot of people because they don't understand me. They take everything I say literally. A majority of the time when I'm saying something inflammatory, I'm saying it in a sense that I actually mean the opposite. It's really like a self-reflection type of thing that I'm doing myself, and that I think a lot of other people should too.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. And that, people from all walks of life with different, different paths we all walk down, and everyone's interpretation of something can be different.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you take from it what you will, take with you what you
Exactly.
want. And I think that your content really, I think, to be fair, Cole has said, you've made it when people hate you, because when we put yourself in front of a camera, you almost put a crosshair in front of you, and it's either going to go either one way or the other. Or to be frank, Daniel, I think you're in the middle
Right.
somewhere, where people, like you're saying, people watch you because they either like your content or they watch you because they don't like you, if you know what I mean. But
And my channel, I really think, has plateaued in as far as growth, because everybody, I would say, has watched a Sticky Goose video that is part of the comic book community at this point and passed their judgment. Because some of my videos, they have too many views to not have people have seen me, and they've said, fuck Sticky Goose, or I love Sticky Goose. And honestly, a lot of my recent video, I lost several subscribers, and I'm glad, because I don't want the people that don't understand or appreciate to watch, because I want to reach the people that actually care, actually, find it entertaining, actually find it enjoyable. I mean, that doesn't affect me anymore. I used to, I was like, oh man, I'm going to piss somebody off. When I stopped caring about that, and you can honestly, in my videos, I can literally see when I stopped caring about that. Like when I realized, when I really acted like myself, and when I started being myself, my channel exploded. And
yeah. No, all hats off to you, buddy. You're really doing well on YouTube, and I regularly, I think one of the reasons why I reached out to you was because, I regularly watch your videos, and I think you pretty much put them out daily. I want to say, there's not really a day that doesn't go by where I get like a notification come through to say that you've uploaded a video or whatnot. But like we talked before the show, like I have to watch something when I'm eating. So at my lunchtime, my breakfast, like even at dinner, like I am literally, and your channel has really given me something to watch while I'm eating, and I always enjoy
all
watching.
I've ever wanted. That's all I've ever wanted. Like if I can be the content somebody eats their meals with, dude, I've made it.
Yeah, I mean, you asked my wife. I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch this Sticky Goose video. But yeah, I was really excited when I said to her, I literally went, I've got Sticky Goose coming on the channel.
Well, I try not to do every day, and I've really thought about that. Also, overdoing it. I think a lot of these guys, and I'm not going to name names, but there are many channels that you see 1,500 videos, 2,000 videos, and I'm like, quality over quantity. I mean, so many of these videos are literally just some poor old bastard, like, okay, another unboxing of something, and I'm like, okay, I mean, it's like good for you, but like, I mean, just I try to think about what I'm making. Is this actually something somebody will be entertained by? And honestly, I started kind of ramping up, making more videos. I've tried to limit to about 3 or 4 a week, but yeah, sometimes so many things come out. Like when the CGC scam came out, I was like, this is like a freaking content gold mine. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, everybody wants to know about that, and it was crazy the stuff that was coming out. So
I'm really slow to the take. So like I had, if you're still watching Manu, the 9.9 newsstand, I had him on my we did like a pre-recording. So like I had him like for 4 hours we were talking. And like
that guy really broke everything.
Yeah, I know. He's literally one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But I had him for 4 hours, and like probably like the last half an hour of the 4 hours, we just talked about CGC. The rest of it is pretty much, oh my god, have you got this card or you got this comic? We're pretty much, because we're like 90s kids. We know we've got like the same stuff,
right?
But like, I need to edit that video and put out my conversation on CGC, but it's about 4 months too late.
Well, and that's what this game is. I mean, it really is like the news cycle. I mean, you have to catch that zeitgeist, and and if you don't, it's over.
Yeah.
And if you can be first, oh man, you're going to get some views, but you better come correct.
Yeah.
I have been first or first-ish and didn't come correct. And I really try to pride myself on having a take that is founded, backed up by actual facts, and not just bullshit. Because I mean, if you follow like the 24-hour news cycle, I mean, they'll just make an article whether it's real or not.
Yeah. And what I particularly enjoyed about with your videos on the CGC scandal, you had Mrs. Goose or Lady Goose on.
Yeah,
and she has like a background in law, is it?
Yeah, she's a legal lady. She's a lawyer, and it was just interesting to hear her take on it, because I was like, they're going to jail, this is criminal, and she was like, it's not really criminal, this is like a civil suit. I was like, hang them. And then and she was like, it doesn't really work like that.
Yeah. But like we said, like because we like CGC books,
Right.
you kind of get a bit of hate from some audience in terms of they don't like books being preserved in a plastic coffin. And
Right.
but for me, I would never in my entire life tell somebody what to do, or like, that's not what I'm about. I will gladly talk about stuff that I enjoy, but I would never go, you know what, Daniel, you need to put all those comics and get them slabbed. I would never ever dream of doing that to anybody.
And can you imagine being so infuriated that it like bothers you to comment? Like,
Yeah,
it's just it's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a bit, but we've got a couple of comments, if you don't mind me just going through them. We've got angry straight white male. I made a joke about Sticky's recent video on gatekeeping, and people went crazy at me. I was just making a joke. So yeah, this community is filled with freaks and mentally ill people sucking business. Yeah, I mean, I'm a freak.
First off, angry white male, you can be quiet. Nobody wants to hear an angry straight white male in 2024, so you can shut up.
There's no place for you, buddy. But
no, you need to go.
Appreciate you watching, though. Really appreciate you watching.
Yeah, appreciate it. And subscribe too.
Dead man, seeing some of the replies you've on your channel, I have to go back and watch again, as I believe I must be watching a different video. People are strange. I get exactly the same. I believe the same as well. Sticky Goose, what is your favorite comic you have?
Batman 181. Easy.
Well, that was one of the questions. Thanks for that, Hugh. Thank you very much.
What are you doing?
VP, thanks for joining us. Sticky and MJ, wowzers, what's going on? Ha ha. Pete from Triple G Comics, honesty and integrity get my attention rather than the fake YouTubers. You can spot them off a mile off. That's very true. There you go, Daniel. MJ eats or sits on the toilet to watch this. I may have watched on the toilet. May have watched content. To be fair, my wife bought an exercise bike, and I'm literally just watching YouTube videos on the bike.
Hey, that's awesome.
It's amazing. I love this guy already. So you've got a fan in Daniel Poir.
Hey, Daniel.
Manu, thank you, friends. Really appreciate you watching, Manu. So next question. What do you enjoy most about collecting comics?
Man, that's an interesting question. I'm feeling kind of like I'm transitioning away from collecting comics to like wanting to read comics.
Wow. It's normally the other way around.
Right. I get more enjoyment out of buying a Silver Surfer 4 has about this much dopamine hit when you get it.
Yeah.
As opposed to reading, I don't know, this. Just like, I just pulled this. Like, I got so much more enjoyment out of reading an omnibus that I paid $50 or $60 for than buying and collecting comics. They're two different things. That's why I think this community is so divided in a lot of ways, is because people are doing different things and they want different things from this hobby. And I think a lot of my viewers are the collectors. They're the people that are, the traditionalists, the guys, don't put them in the plastic coffins. That's those guys. And then the guys that read comics are a different crowd, and I'm pretty sure don't watch my videos.
Yeah, but do you feel like if you did more content towards that you would attract that audience?
I've tried. I'll do like a video about like reviewing a comic, or an omnibus I really liked. But you can't just do a video like I read Alias, it was great.
Yeah.
It's got to be like, Alias did what? I read Alias and now I'm gay. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, that has to be the video. Like,
yeah.
It's just, it's not enough. Like, I don't
So
know.
you almost need like some clickbaity headline
Absolutely.
or thumbnail to entice people to watch. No, I totally agree. It's like for me, my channel is, if it's not unboxing some comics and if it's about any other subject, it doesn't really get as much traction.
Right.
Because ultimately that's what the channel is about. And to be fair, unboxing CGC books is great, but it's expensive.
And I mean, it's not something that's feasible weekly,
No,
even
one.
monthly.
Yeah, but it's I mean, I love it, but it's just one of those things where that's why I'm trying to do these conversations, because I want to meet interesting people and talk to them in the community, and I want my audience to feel that as well. So I'm hoping that people are enjoying this content. But we've got a comment from Jesse Lynch. I was hoping Mother Goose would be on.
Sorry, bro.
Oh man, what? No Mother Goose?
She's tending the baby goose so that I can be on MJ Comix tonight.
Disappointed Sticky doesn't have his tool shirt on. To be fair, you did do it for the thumbnail, so I appreciate that.
Dude, that thumbnail, like, I look like I need, help. Like, I need psychological. I mean, I probably do need help, but like, geez, like, I'm like looking off into the distance at nothing. I'm like, this was the best I could come up with, I guess.
No, it was brilliant. And to be fair, that's probably why we've got a few more people watching, because they're like, what's going on? To be fair, Jesse said, Sticky Goose, you don't need clickbait. We just sign on to see what you will do next. Oh, that's good. So you do. So I hope you don't mind me disclosing. So you sent me a message a few days ago. Just to like a pre-warning. Do you mind me?
Go for it.
No, as I say, so Daniel sent me a message probably about 2 days ago where you just gave me a bit of a warning to say, like, I just got to warn you that, certain parts of the community don't like me, and don't want your channel to garner any of that hate, which I thought was really sensitive and, like understanding of yourself, to acknowledge that within that's what your content produces, but also that, it could affect like my channel. But so I really appreciate that. But I mean, if you can see the people in the chat, nobody's really, there's nothing really like ominous going on, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, I would equate, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the pundit Alex Jones in America. He's like this over the top guy from Texas. Basically, he was like one of the guys that like was part of like the riots for the like during the presidency. Anyway, basically, like, if you had him on your podcast, like, you're going to get X amount of hate. I would equate myself to that, because there are going to be people that are just like, why do you have this douchebag on your channel? Like, they would think less of you because you have me on, and I wanted to be upfront with you, because I was like, dude, I don't want to besmirch your good name, because, you're a guy, you're a chill dude, no drama.
yeah.
I mean, there's not really any hate towards you at all. I mean, and I just didn't want that for you.
No, I appreciate that. And for anybody who's watching or is even harnessing those types of thoughts against yourself or myself tonight, honestly, that's not my intent, is to upset or offend anybody. It's just, I want to produce good content, and I want people to enjoy the conversations that I have with people in the comic community or the collecting community. So I really appreciate you giving me that little bit of a heads up, buddy. Really appreciate it. Cole Collector said, I've not done a video on here for a while, because exactly what you just said, everything has to be rage or an event. That's very true. Thumbnails don't lie.
Ever.
I'll only get certain comic slab, but I'd rather keep them bagged and boarded. Yeah, that's that. You do what makes you happy, Danny. I'm sure his name was Daniel Poir before. Has he changed it to Danny now?
He changed his name midstream.
I'm sure he's probably changed it because of how many Daniels in the chat. Jesse's put Sticky Goose. We don't like you. We love you. Oh, that's really nice.
Dude,
Any
Jesse Lynch does not miss a video. Like he's in, I mean, Jesse Lynch in the algorithm, like my guy,
Loves
he
it.
is liking, he's commenting, he's subbed up.
Jesse, thank you for watching and tuning in to watch Daniel this evening. I really appreciate it. You can't please everyone. I'm enjoying this so far. Thanks, Danny. But yeah, so that's what you most enjoy about collecting comics. So what's the most challenging comic you've had to track down to add to your collection, would you say?
I don't really collect specifically rare things. Like I'm not a like a Mark Jewelers guy or like a ratio variant guy. Honestly, I just like collecting books that are like relevant, important, first appearances, major event issues, cool covers, and then if I can get them in as high a grade as I can and still be affordable and not deplete Baby Goose's college fund. Like that is the goal. Like, I mean, there's certain responsibility that comes with this because you can get very irresponsible very quickly with the kind of money we're talking about. As far as a book that I've looked for, to be honest, it's the racist Lois Lane cover.
Oh yeah.
Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane 106, where she is in the skin of a black woman for a day. I just thought that book was just hilarious that they thought that was a good idea in 1970, whatever. And I wanted to find it in a nice grade. And honestly, that was kind of one of my hardest ones to track down. I mean, honestly, comic books are not rare. Like if you want something, it's out there. I mean,
yeah. I had a very interesting conversation with Sunil, who is the Ilson Comics. He came on the other week to talk about Golden Age comics.
Yeah.
Now I don't have any Golden Age comics. I don't know whether if you yourself.
I have one.
So I am. Well, spoiler alert, everybody! I bought my first Golden Age comic book, but you'll have to wait because that's content. But but he was saying in that chat that basically anything from like if you wanted like a full run of Spider-Man, if you wanted Amazing Fantasy 15 all the way to whatever we're on now, 800 plus,
right?
You could practically, if you really, really wanted to, you could find all of them in one evening.
Yeah, I mean, it's not these books, specifically Marvel, like these books are not rare. Now the Golden Age, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So I've been looking at Golden Age, and when like I mean, I don't know what if you're like myself, but if I'm after a book, I'm constantly just going onto the eBay app and clicking the search for that recent search, just to see if anything's been newly added. And with these Golden Age books, man, ain't nothing being added for days, probably even a week.
And what does that tell you? That these books are actually valuable. They're actually rare.
Yeah, it's frightening. Because I'm so used to being in this modern age now, where you're so used to be able to go, right, I want something, I want it now, I want it delivered tomorrow. Yep. And when you can't get those things now, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you want to go to actual comic cons, like, and these shows, like they have books there that you can't find online, and a lot of these dealers, specifically these Golden Age dealers, they have them. And a lot of these guys with deep pockets, they're going to pay. I mean, and there's no sales data. So like, when you're going and you're like, well, let me look this up on GPA. Well, there is no sales data. So like,
there's no sale since 2013 or something.
Right. Like there's no sale before CGC started. So like, you're going to pay like, well, $2,000. Okay. It's like, it may be worth that,
Yeah. No, definitely. Cole Collects has put Sticky. If I tell people you're nice, can I have your Adam Hughes Catwoman on your wall?
Sure.
There you
Send me your shipping address.
go. Debbie Holloway, thank you for joining us tonight. That's my mother-in-law. She's watching.
Hey, Debbie.
Um, very few books are truly scarce. That's very true. Early in my collecting, it took me a while to appreciate them, but now they are my favourite. Bright, vibrant colours, sometimes big panels, sometimes corny, but I love them. Is you on about Golden Age?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean that's the only setback for me with Golden Age is there's quite. I don't like the very campy Batman and Robin, even the Superman covers. I like that big yellow background with Superman on the front doing that.
Yeah.
That to me is one like I'll send me that all day. But the one where they're doing like weird things like pretending to be firemen or going down like a pole or something, or
Right.
it really doesn't do it for me, and it's just a sign of the times. To be fair.
Well,
Um,
I mean, honestly, the old stories are not good. I know a lot of people probably disagree, but like, to be honest, anything before like the 80s is unreadable for me. And if you're collecting it, it's really just a cover buy at that point, or like,
yeah.
a historical value. Because I mean, if somebody's like reading a book from like the 50s, like, sure. Now I know a lot of people will say the EC horror stuff, apparently those are good stories, which they may be, because I mean they're really kind of meant for adults more so than
Yeah.
children.
No, definitely the pre-code horror stuff looks. Some of those covers that I've seen are fantastic, but very very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Danny Poir, I need to win the lottery to get even a quarter of the Grail, I presume. Everyone, Sticky is nice. That was a verbal contract, so you own that Adam Hughes Catwoman. There we go.
Yep.
Don't worry. I think we can. I think once this is finished the live, I can go back and scrub it.
Perfect. Thank God.
MJ, is that the name of your channel I want to follow? It's MJ Comix, Jesse. If you want to follow, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, he needs to win. Oh, to get some Golden Age, Danny's saying. And my wife is just reiterating that it's MJ Comix. Thank you very much. Yeah, so no, yeah, definitely. So that for me, my most difficult one that I've been looking for so far is a decent Golden Age affordable book for
Right.
me. And that I've happened to find one, but I want two,
Oh,
which is really greedy of me because I want one Superman and one Batman. But it's the Batman one's proven to be a bit harder than the Supes.
is it doable? You think? Is it within the budget or no?
I might have to go a bit higher, but it's doable. But it's just whether it's again, it's whether or not if one comes available. It's just a bit, you know, difficult. Jesse's put, if you are internally 10 years old, like I am, the silliness of the golden age fits me perfectly. Brilliant. Sammy Jane, thank you for joining us. James, here's a question. Would you trade in your entire collection we see behind you for one golden age comic? My entire collection? No, 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 not my entire collection. Have you ever thought about selling your entire collection?
Yes. I'm actually selling about 30 slabs right
Oh
now.
wow.
They're on auction, including my Hulk 181, including my giant size X-Men one.
Oh wow.
And I'm trying to get, $10,000-$12,000 total for the lot. I'm wanting to buy something legitimate. And
When you
whether
say
that,
legitimate, what are you thinking? Like,
what's that now?
what when you say you want to buy something legitimately? Are you?
Yeah, like I'm
you
talking, an AF-15, a
yeah,
Tails 39,
yeah,
a Gem 83, something big, an X-Men one. you
yeah,
know, I mean, obviously the books are not rare, but the demand is so high. These books are still so valuable, and I'd like to know what it's like to have one of those.
yeah.
Um, is it the problem with that is if you ever needed to sell it, and man, the person walking down the street with 10 grand to buy a freaking comic book, like that's what's crazy about some of these guys you see, like with these crazy collections. Like, I just, how are you going to move that if you needed to sell that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not something that you could shift quickly. It would
No.
be a bit. I mean, even like a small comic book collection, it can take some time to shift. But
Yes.
I totally agree. If I could sell, rephrase that question that Sammy Jane asked about a golden age comic book. But if I could sell my graded collection, I would have an AF-15 for it.
Right.
But you know, I would love to. I would. There'd be a couple of books that I wouldn't want to get rid of, but I would gladly have an amazing Fantasy 15, 100%.
And it's like all that stuff you're selling, you could get those back probably eventually if you wanted them. But
Yeah,
it's like, to have the opportunity to make that trade, you'd be
yeah,
crazy not to.
of course. And if only we could have sold them 2 years ago.
Right. Oh man,
Man,
crazy.
would have been crazy. But it's you referenced this earlier when you were talking about the dopamine hit.
Oh yeah.
So for anybody watching, us as collectors, we get our dopamine from hunting down comics, winning the comic, and then it coming, it arriving. You look, it take 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds looking at it, and then that dopamine is gone because you've got it.
Yep.
It's painful, and then you just move on to the next thing.
Yep.
Like, you're looking for that next hit, and like, to be fair to you, Daniel, you like you mentioned about how you've gone from really like collecting to reading and getting your dopamine from that.
Right.
That's incredible, because it's normally collecting goes the other way around. Like, people start off there in younger life reading comics and enjoying them that way, and then going to like getting into the big books and collecting them. And for me, I would never read. Well, that's not a lie. That's a lie. Like, if I had my Hulk 181 raw, I would never dream about reading that because I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to damage it. But
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and it and we talked about this before. It's just like like talking about alcohol or anything. Like, I don't particularly like something having power over me, including comic book collecting, where I need to keep chasing. I need to keep getting the next one, because when does it stop? When
exactly,
when when the money is out? I mean, I'm not going to live like that. And some people are in this cycle perpetually. I mean, the guys that go to their LCS week in, week out, the bread and butter, the lifeline of comics in a lot of ways, specifically new books,
yeah,
those guys, they got to get on there and get those books. They got to get that hit. And I mean, I'm not doing that.
yeah,
I'm not like a junkie. Like, I got to get my new fix, because what ends up happening is the fix is what you're searching for. And then once you bring the books back home, you bag them and board them. And guess what? You probably didn't even read them. And then
yeah.
it's just on to, and then the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger. How big does the pile have to get? It's like Breaking Bad. I don't know if you ever watched that show, where
Yeah,
Walt's money pile fills the room, but it was
yeah.
never enough.
No, yeah, no, 100%. Um, I I don't know about yourself, but new comics. The last time I read a new comic was probably Something is Killing the Children,
Yeah.
and like the last Marvel book that I read was the Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman Venom
Yeah.
run, and that was the last like new comics that I had to buy every well, I can't remember if it was every week or whenever it was, but those are the ones that I had to get. But that was pretty much it. Like, I don't buy new comics, unfortunately, and I don't think there's anything. Or you got all these variants, and they're really. And again, I'm not telling people don't go out and buy these things. You go out and buy what you enjoy. But for me, I don't enjoy there being like 50 variant covers and it having to, the ones that really sell are the ones with the boobies on, or
Yeah.
it's
It's
crazy.
well, in buying new books, it's like it's gambling in a way, in a sense that like you don't even know if the story is going to be good. You're taking a risk, and I mean, if you're taking risks weekly, the risk of this being, if you're coming at it from a collecting perspective, this book is not valuable. One, two, if you don't even like the story, I mean, you've totally wasted your money. And
Yeah,
I and there's so many stories through the history of comics that I've still yet to read, but I'm really going back, and I'm reading the stories that are the greatest graphic novels and comic books of all time, because there's the guys, they went out there and curated it. I mean, the
yeah,
people have done the hard work of like, hey, this is shit, this is good, this is worth your time. And I'm kind of reaping the benefits of that by not being a long-term reader, because now I can literally like, hey, I'm going to read this, this, and this because I know it's good.
yeah. And with the omnibuses, they're quite expensive, aren't they? Wait, when trying to
Not,
get.
I mean, yeah, but in comparison, I mean, there's this website I can get cheap graphic novels at, and I'm like, okay, this $60 or $70 book will last me for weeks potentially, as opposed
Yeah,
to what does buying, I mean, that's one pull list week potentially.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
how many books? 12, 13 books or something. I mean,
yeah, 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 definitely. Got a couple more comments. Sorry, Daniel. We've got for me it would be an Avengers one. Everyone has different grails, which is good. Everything has power over me. My wife, the dog, the cat, the wild turkeys that hang out in the backyard. um, I couldn't read Stray Dogs. Too sad. Um, can't stand variants. Only buy cover A's. And Dead Man's put, if I didn't read them, I wouldn't buy them. Don't see the point. I'm 60 plus years into this hobby, still enjoying the reading. And that's great. Dead Man, honestly, that's amazing. Um, but the next question we have for you, Daniel, is how do you decide on the topics you cover on your channel? So is it like current events going on, like within the comic community, or news, or stuff that's in general like happened to you? Because I know most recently you did a video on, I think somebody left a comment on one of your videos, and you basically called them out for it.
yeah, I mean, I'll do current event stuff. I'll do big news in the comic book community, but then once I kind of built up more of a viewership, I mean, I realized that there's free content when people comment. Like the
Yeah, yeah,
things people say are so controversial a lot of times, or they ring so true, or they strike a chord in me so much that I'm like, okay, there's something here. And then I'll go out cycling, I'll go out running where I'm not looking at a screen, I'm not reading, I'm not doing anything, and I'll just think, and
oh yeah,
I'll play out ideas in my mind, and I'll just keep notes. Like I have like 10 or 15 video ideas right now. But the question is there enough there to flesh out a video? And
yeah,
a lot of them they just keep falling to the wayside. But then, certain ones, I have an idea for a video, talking about comic book runs, and collecting those, and just how few people actually give a shit about collecting comic book runs now.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's because well, I think, and I covered this with Ilson Comics, but I think future generations houses are getting smaller.
yeah,
They're not into physical possession as much. It's all digital space, so I think down the line, collectors will only be going for, you know, it,
keys.
keys, issue number ones,
Yeah.
and they won't be trying to complete runs anymore. I mean, to be fair, I kind of gave up my Amazing Spider-Man run because it's just too much hassle and it's too much space.
And it's, at the end of the day, like in the past, you collected a run to read the story.
Yeah.
Now, because there were no omnibus, there was no digital format. Like if you were trying to read Fantastic Four Volume 1 and didn't know what happened in issue 1, you had to get issue 1. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, the times have changed, and so many of the new collectors, and I think we're both kind of that ilk where, you know, the key issue, like that is representative in a lot of ways of a run where, okay,
Yeah.
I have Invincible #1. Do I need Invincible 1 through whatever? No.
No.
I love Invincible. I love what issue #1 stands for. I love having it in a high grade. The book means something to me from that perspective. Having a run of Invincible really means nothing to me.
Yeah. It's hard. And in terms of like your current content then, so I mentioned you most recently did a video where you effectively called out somebody in a comment and did the whole entire video. And I think you did like a poll in terms of if anyone, do you think your collection is better than others?
Right.
To be fair, I'm gutted because I actually typed out a comment on that poll and I didn't click send. And I'm gutted because I would have featured in your video, but maybe next time. But that particular person who left you that comment, I think it was about was it about
My
basically
collection was barely a beginner's collection.
yeah.
So it's just an elitist mentality.
Yeah,
And dude, the comic book community, there are so many people like that.
I know, it's crazy. And that particular person had actually left a comment on my channel.
What did it say?
And it was I was doing like the the Neil Adams Superman breaking out the change with the orange
Oh yeah.
cover. I was unboxing that and it was a 6.0, and he basically went, "Oh, why is your video so long? Just unbox it already." And then he put something about it. Oh, it's just a 6.0. And then like I remember saying to my wife, I said, "Oh, I can't believe someone's like left a comment like that. Like, what draws somebody to do that?" And she was like, "Oh, just ignore it." And like sometimes I have to like stop myself from like when I'm angry or upset or whatever from doing something probably a bit silly. So I drafted out something. I was like, "Nah, I'm just going to leave it." So I left it. And funny enough, probably about 2 weeks ago, when you go onto YouTube Studio and you can see like comments unanswered, that
Yeah.
was my only one. No, that was probably one of two that I'd never answered. The other one, like I just completely never saw it, and it wasn't like a horrible comment. But this one, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I normally do when somebody puts something a bit controversial or opinionated. I'm just gonna kill them with niceness. So I just put back saying, "Oh, my apologies for unboxing slowly. A 6.0 might not be good to you, but to me it means the world. And that I really love that comic. So, but I appreciate you watching." And funny enough, when you put your video up and I saw it was that person, I was like, for Daniel's interview, I'm going to get that comment up and show him. But I went back to the video and he's deleted it.
What a coward.
And I was just like, but has he deleted it because he's like, "Oh gosh, I'm being a bit of a dick," or I don't know.
He hasn't gotten any better. He's still sending
Well,
out
exactly.
messages.
He's still doing the same, to be fair. But what I thought was quite fitting was this was your thumbnail for that particular video. My comic book collection is better than yours.
That's a
But I
great
just
point.
thought I'd better say that thumbnail looks very similar to probably one of my best videos, which was my entire CGC comic book collection. It's quite similarly striking, but I thought I would throw up a couple of comments from that particular video just to highlight like the stuff that we, as being on YouTube, the comments that we kind of get. And I would never ever, like we've mentioned this previously, but I'm just showing off what I've got. I'm not telling you need to go out and get this. It's purely just stuff that I buy that I love. And some of the comments are, like, sell all that bronze and copper crap and get a couple of goldens. And again, I just commented saying I could do, but I love what I love. Unfortunately, I do imagine getting into Golden Age one day. But thanks for watching. Like, those are the type of comments that I get sometimes. And to be fair, I don't normally get it on my uh, like on the videos that don't do as well. But this one's obviously, got more traction than most of
Right.
my videos, so it's appealed to a bigger audience. Um, but like again, it's just like I don't want. I could easily just be a bastard and come back and say something, but I'm not. I'm not going to rise to it. But someone put, bro, don't hate on CBS. Sorry, CBCS, CGC fanboy. It seems like when they're going on about the Reholder scandal. I'm just showing you what books I've got. I'm not, saying that CGC isn't superior. All easy comics to find on Key Collector associated with Marvel movies and shows. No Golden Age pulp or indie books. A lot of these books, the prices have dropped. Okay, thanks for watching, but I'm not
Right.
like I'm showing off the stuff that I like, not what you like. But
Right.
I've just put I don't hate on CBCS. I always preferred how the CGC slabs look. It's a preference, but I would never turn down a CBCS book if I can get it for a cheaper price, because you'd be mental not to. Like, you've got to think about your back pocket. But there are some CBCS books in this video anyway, so it's not entirely CGC. Just go and I use CBCS for verification or whatnot. But and then I've been collecting comics for nearly 30 years. A fair few of these books are ones I've had long before apps and smartphones even existed. So I do imagine getting into Golden Age one day, but I've always found them too rich for my blood. I was reading and collecting comics in the 90s, and that's what I love. Hence why my collection is mostly modern. Thanks for watching and taking the time to comment. And I just find that, like, it's almost like killing them with hate. No, sorry, killing them with love, if you know what I mean. Because I could easily rise back to it, but
Yeah, I unfortunately have really stopped responding to all comments, whether they be positive or negative. I actually stopped a couple months ago, just because it doesn't it's just negative. It's just bad. Like even the good like, so you respond to the good comments but don't respond to the negative, or you just
yeah,
respond to the negative and not the good.
you've still
Like,
got to read them, so it's
yes,
still going to affect you mentally. And
yeah,
if you look at pro athletes, if I was a pro athlete, I would avoid social media, because
100%.
honestly, that stuff would be bad for your game or whatever competition that you're in, because it would get you out of that zone. Because again, like yourself, people are either going to love you or hate you.
Right.
Depending on what team you play for, and what opposition you're against and whatnot. But what I thought would be quite fitting was yourself, Daniel. You left a comment on my video, on that particular video, and I thought I would just show the world what a nice guy you are. Great collection.
That's a lot of text there.
It is, but it's to the point, and it's nice of you to say that, and I really appreciate it.
Well, I don't. I'm not a troll on other people's channels. At least I try not to be. But it's just like, I mean, how many times can you just pick on somebody's like appearance or something? Like, some of the comments are just like pathetic at this point. And I've had so much shit talked to me that it doesn't bother me as much as it does anymore. Some of them do hit a little more than others because of things I pride myself on. One specifically that comes to my mind is somebody was calling me out for not respecting my audience, from a sense of I respect my audience's time, which, holy shit, that is all I care about. I mean, when I make my videos, like, I'm editing the stupid videos. I'm, trying to make them as palatable as possible. I'm trying to trim the fat, not a
Yeah,
3-hour video. I'm thinking about, the guy that's on the toilet watching my video. Like, please, hurry it up, get to it. So stuff like that, I'm like, oh, that kind of bothers me a little bit.
yeah. No, I totally agree. But yeah, that I just wanted to showcase that, really, to show the difference between what a nice comment is in comparison to some not nice comments. But we've got Danny Poir's put, people like, I just block them. Deadman has put, he's deleted it because he probably hasn't got any comics and is a total douche. Plus, you called his bluff. Fair enough. Well, now I feel for all the snarky comments I've made. My apologies to everyone. Jesse, I'm sure you probably haven't made any snarky comments. Don't worry about it. Daniel underscores put, James, you got to bring up the rest of the comments in that thread with GD1 Wicked. I believe some young hit. Yeah, so I think what Daniel's other Daniel here is referring to was below that, below, I think this image, there's a bit of a thread. You can see there's 8 replies, but I think Daniel underscore came into my rescue, basically fighting the good fight for me. But I really appreciate it, Daniel. Really appreciate it. Let's go back to some more comments. That's the same one. Apologies. Captain UK, Kirby's Fourth World stories are a fantastic read. There really is a lot of good stuff before the 80s. Take your word for it, Captain. Thank you very much for joining us. Sticky Goose, your video that showed all the stupid things people said to you was hilarious. I was glad none of my comments made the show.
Yeah,
I really
some of them are so funny. Like, I'm like, this is like content, just reading this shit.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I mean, I might do a bit of a parody on a video of yourself where I'm just putting all the nice comments. Being really offended by them also. I don't know. But yeah. Let's get the next question up. So I think I want to say Hugh already asked you this question in the chat, but you said that a Batman 181 is your favorite comic. Is that because you got it from your dad?
Yeah, it just special because I was just, he remembered the story, he remembered the book. We had that moment, and I was just like, this is incredible. This is like the first appearance of Poison Ivy.
Yeah,
and I don't know, it was like a sense of wonder. It was that feeling of a Christmas morning, like that. It was that feeling, and I was like, oh man, I'd never sell that book ever.
So when you say like a Christmas morning or whatever, that would be like a what we call like a core memory. I would say.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. But like in terms for me, people probably don't know this, but in terms for me, I got into comic books through my mother's boyfriend at the time. He took me to my first comic shop. It wasn't like my own dad or anything like that. And he really got me into Spider-Man. And like, I just want to thank Martin I wouldn't be here today talking about comic books with yourself if it wasn't for him. So thank you. Even though she's not with him anymore, but it's a bit strange, but but yeah, no, Batman 1.8. Oh, what I was going to say was that video you did with your dad, I really enjoyed it because I could see how your interaction between you and your dad. I don't think I've ever seen you that happy.
Yeah, that's who I really am. I mean, when I make these videos, they're very edited. I'm trying to make them concise. I'm trying to hit bullet points. And when I have these interactions with my wife, with my dad, it's like, this is who I really am. And I think it's funny. I appreciate you saying that. But if you look at the analytics of videos and you can see when people start and stop watching, they literally skip through the parts where it's just me and my father talking to the footage of the clips of the comic books, which I think there's a nugget there where most viewers it's self-serving in a lot of ways, where the content they're consuming, they're trying to get something that benefits them. It's like, okay, Sticky Goose is buying what books? Okay, these are books that I may potentially want. And I think there's people that like you that watch my videos that are like, hey, I want to see, Sticky Goose interacting with his dad. This is a different dynamic.
Yeah.
He's conversating as opposed to talking to me, because when I'm talking to you, it's like we're talking, but when I'm conversating like we're doing now, this is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they skip past all that shit and they get right to, okay, he's buying Watchmen #1. Well, why is he doing that? Is there speculation coming down the pipeline for Watchmen? And I'm like, no, dude, I just want Watchmen.
Hot off the press.
Yeah, hot off the press. Sticky Goose likes DC comic books. Okay, I gotta go get those books. I mean, dude, like, I don't want to be that guy.
That's to be fair. Jesse's agreed with me where he's put the show that you recently had with your dad was my favorite.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, your normal shows are the Sticky Goose character, and the ones with Mother Goose and his dad are Daniel, not it. That's very true. It's very true. If we go on to the next question, are you okay for time? Are you?
Yeah, I've got 15 minutes or so would be good.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Have you ever regretted posting a particular video?
Yes. When I posted the kicked out of comic book shops last February, it's been about 16, 17 months since I posted that video.
Yeah.
I knew it was bad. I knew everything that happened that day was bad. And when I posted that video, I knew it was going to get traction.
Yeah.
But I didn't think what would happen. I mean, it literally is like, if you type in like on Google, like comic book shops and stuff, it's like one of the videos that comes up.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I went in there that day, I had no intention of starting shit. I had zero intention of making this inflammatory content that became. That guy was such a douchebag that I don't regret putting him on blast in a lot of ways, but I regret posting that so that it makes it just puts a bad taste in people's mouths for just comic books in general and shops. It's just,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I think we talked about this before the show started, but you mentioned to me beforehand that you enjoy my vlogs of going through comic shops and notice a big difference between our comic book shops and comic book shops in the US. And I've been to, like, I if I get the chance, I will film any comic book store I go to, right? But there are comic book stores I've been to in this country where I've been there and I've refused to do a video on it because of my interaction with the owner, or if I feel like, and it'll be something stupid to just be like, I've just been in your store for like an hour and a half, I've picked these books up, and then you're checking the prices out on eBay. Yeah. And I'm not mentioning any shops names, but that has happened to me at least twice, at least. And it's not, it doesn't really leave like a nice taste in your mouth. And I've refused to go back there. And in this country there aren't very many comic book stores, so that's to my detriment. But it's probably not difficult to figure out that I live in a specific part of the UK in the West Midlands. If there's not a video of such comic book stores in the West Midlands, and I live in the West Midlands, it's probably a good idea why there's not a video of that. But I would never ever Like I know that, for instance, it'd probably be a good video if I went on and said this happened to me. You'll never believe what happened to me at this comic book shop, but I don't think I would do that personally. And that's nothing against you, Daniel, because like that video has garnered you like a lot of traction, and as you said on the YouTube search, when you type in comic book stores, that video comes up towards the top.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I'm thankful for the people, all the people that have watched it, interacted with it, but it's not a good thing. I mean, what happened um, was pathetic on
Yeah.
so many levels, and I don't have a lot of respect for several of these comic shop owners just because of the shady ways they get their stock, the way they take advantage of people that are not knowledgeable, that are either buying or selling,
Yeah.
um, the disrespect they show potential customers, how little they respect their shop. I mean, I don't have a lot to say, a lot of good things to say about a lot of shops because, I see it as, my home, my space is
Yeah.
tidy. It's neat. I have respect for my things. I have respect for myself as a person to take care of myself and to take care of my things. And for you to not do that is pathetic. And you're really a steward of the hobby. I talk about this a lot, where I think you and I are stewards, as well as the shop owner really is, where somebody's first interaction with comic books is going to be with you, dude.
Yeah.
And if you blow this, you've lost another one. And there's less and less every single day, seemingly. It
No,
just
totally agree with you. It's almost like I think the term is it gatekeeping, is it?
Yeah,
Is that the term? Yeah. I think that's been thrown about a bit, but like when I sold comic books for the first time, like at an event like a few months back, and I took a load of like raw books that probably aren't worth a lot,
right.
but the kids and people who were like umming and ahhing when they were looking for my books, I
Feels
would
good,
just
doesn't
like
it?
I would just give them, and it felt incredible because the people who like especially getting kids into reading comics, like it can be a wonderful thing. And if there's somebody who hasn't got a lot of money or whatever, and they come and perusing the comics and they're like umming and ahhing, I'm not like just by giving them a free comic or a couple of free comics to take home with them can make their day. It's made my day feeling great from giving it to them.
It's nice being on that other side of the table. I think everybody should experience that because most people are on the buying side of the table, but to be on the seller side, it's not only financially rewarding but very rewarding in other ways.
Yeah, because I found I was just like, they would come up. Let's just say they would come up with like, let's say $30 worth of books. I'd be like, you can have that for 25,
Right.
like, because I know from my own experience buying,
Exactly.
when people do that, you're like, oh, okay. Do you know what? I'll get some more books because you'll spend that extra money, or you'll come back later that day or the next time. It's a good experience all round.
Yes.
Um, no, that's a great answer to that question. Thank you for that, Daniel. Might just skip ahead to a few more questions because you've not got much time left. But is there anything else that you collect? I know you collect comics and statues. Is there anything else that you
Magic cards, Magic the Gathering, the card game. I've been playing that since 2011, 2012. And then I also do collect some video games,
Yeah.
SNES, NES. I do enjoy collecting that as well. Magic the Gathering is really a passion of mine and something I would love to talk about more on the channel. It's just nobody gives a shit. My
Yeah.
viewers they don't care. And I mean, that's fine. It just these nerd niches are very specific. And if you're a content creator if you veer off in any way,
Yeah.
you need to stay in your lane. Like MJ Comics, how dare you talk about your Nintendo action set back there? You're a
Oh no, yeah.
comic book creator.
I know. It is crazy. Like, and I mean, as soon as you said that you collect Magic the Gathering, I just lost complete respect for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No joking. No, but to be fair, I mean, I think Danny Poir in the chat. So this is an interesting story. So he sat next to me or close to me in science in secondary school, like I think you would call it high school,
Right.
and he sat next to me for I don't know, maybe like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and we did not know that we both collected comic books because it wasn't cool.
Right.
It wasn't cool to like Spider-Man. It wasn't cool to like Captain America. It wasn't cool to like the Hulk or Batman or Superman or whatever you were into. It was like really geeky. And
Mhm.
like, you know, high school is hard because you're trying to, you know, have like a reputation. You don't want to be like picked on or anything like that. So for people who, like look like myself, that like they struggle to kind of like fit in and stuff. So it's like, I would never have gone and said that I collected Marvel cards or anything. It was just like I like football. I love
Yes.
football. I've got to love football because everybody loves football. And if you don't
Right.
like football, but to be fair, I do love football. But yeah, it's just a strange concept because what people think is geeky is now pretty trendy or pretty cool. I
You,
think.
you nailed it. I mean, I really forsaked all of my nerddom from 14 to 18 because of
Yeah,
that reason. And I, I was more miserable for it. I mean, I was happier before that because I was playing GameCube. I was
yeah, yeah,
playing Hero Clicks. I was, reading comic books. I mean, then high school and then in college, I kind of got back into my nerddom, and that's when I got happier.
yeah. I'll tell you a really embarrassing story. So I think I was maybe about 15, 16. And my one of my neighbors liked is it Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh yeah,
So so he was really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, oh, I'll buy like one of those starter
starter
decks,
decks.
and I'll play it with you. So he was like maybe like a year or two younger than me,
Hmm.
and so I invited him round, and his brother was my age, but he wasn't into any of all that. And so anyway, we've got on the big table. We've got both of our decks out, not our starter decks. We've got our starter decks out, and we're playing this game, and I'm learning how to play it. And then the doorbell goes, and the doorbell goes. And I'm like, go and answer it. And I was like, oh, it's your brother. So I open the door and let him in, but he also happens to be with a couple of girls.
Uh-huh.
And the one girl I really liked, and I was like, oh my god, she's gonna come into my house for the first ever time of my life, and she's gonna see me playing with like a younger boy playing like a trading card game. I was like, oh my god, this it's over before it's even started. It was over before it even started. But yeah,
And then you married her,
no,
and
I
then
did not.
oh,
No, I did not. But yeah, Captain Planet was cool. It was very cool, very cool. And that Danny Pye, yeah, we kept it quiet because of our geekiness for years.
I
But
think Big Bang Theory was like the
yeah,
breakthrough.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And if we can end on this, Daniel, if you don't mind, a couple more minutes of your time. But can you tell us, please, the audience, an interesting fact about yourself?
Hmm. I mean, I've never talked about what I do for a living ever
Oh
on
wow,
anything. We can play like we could play a game of like, what do you think I do? Because I honestly, that's one thing I've never wanted to like uh, discuss on anything was because I keep my personal stuff from this.
yeah,
'Cause I've never said my full name.
yeah,
Um, I've never said what I do. I've talked. I mean, I ride mountain bikes. I do cycling. I've talked about that, but it's just, I guess I just keep certain things private. Like I would never put my child on on YouTube. Like I don't know, like I guess never say never, but like I don't think I would have my daughter on here. I don't know. It'd just be too weird. I guess I have too many trolls.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of at the beginning of your channel, would you have done it? Like
possibly, but not now. I mean,
not now, yeah.
Because to be honest, like there's another content creator who's pretty big, and they doxed him. He was a school teacher in Sacramento, California, and somebody called the school board to try to get this person fired. And I was like, that's when the shit got real. Like, these people are crazy. Like, yeah. I'm separating like my real world life and the Sticky Goose life, keeping them separate. I don't even, I mean, I don't promote like my eBay.
Anything that really can get back to yourself.
Exactly. It's just too creepy. It really is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think for, you know, especially with, I know we talked about this earlier, but people either love you or you hate you, and you don't want that, just that, you know, that one person who happens to really, you know, and want to know more about yourself, and, you know, just casually bump into you and your family while you're shopping, or, you know.
Well, I got hate mail. Like, I got a physical letter to my dad's address that had gone through the postal service. And I talked about it on an earlier video. I mean, this was years back. I actually read it out loud. And it just kind of was like, oh shit, it's
getting a bit serious.
Yeah. Like he was talking about, you need to stop what you're doing. God is watching. I'm watching. I was like, this is too real. So the interesting fact is I've received hate mail.
Yeah, I suppose that would, yeah. A couple of comments. Brian from LCS has said he has to be a sales guy. Is that?
I'm not in sales. Honestly, you would never guess what I do. Honestly, no one would.
Aerospace engineer or a physician?
No.
No. One of the theories is professional fisherman.
I don't like to kill stuff. I don't even like fishing.
No, let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know how you said that when you go cycling or whatever, you've got time to think? If you're a professional fisherman, you would have loads of time to think.
You're right about that.
Definitely not that. Definitely not that.
As boring as hell.
I respect that, but we do not need to know that stuff. That's true. Secretly 007. Or Laura is saying you're a professional poker player.
Whoa, she is hot. Who is that?
That's she looks a bit like Mother Goose. Or Lady Goose, or whatever I called her earlier. Sorry for that.
She's hot.
Thank you for watching, Laura. Appreciate it. Professional jazz musician. Do you play the?
I wish I could play an instrument. I tried playing electric guitar, but I don't have like rhythm.
No, don't worry. But I'm sure I've kept you long enough from your daughter. But I really, really appreciate you coming on tonight, Daniel.
It's been fun.
It has been great, and I hope the audience kind of see a different side to you that I've seen it. You know, when I watch your stuff, and I can honestly say you've been a great guest tonight, and we've talked about some heavy stuff. But it's been good. It's been really good. And
you gotta bring that comment up.
Which one?
You said
not that one. It's the last
one. Dude, never go to a bald barber. Ever.
Well,
if you go to a bald barber, you're getting tore up.
Yeah, I think I've got a few more years left before I have to
you're solid, bro. You looking you could be anywhere from 25 years old to 45 years old. Literally. I have no idea.
Oh, cheers. I'm 36. So.
Well, damn, we're like right there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Cole Collector said he's going to send you his address over.
All right.
Dan, I'm pretty sure. I hope you don't mind me calling you Dan, but I'm pretty sure he's probably going to do that because he probably thinks it's a verbal contract. But
Gotcha. Was
um,
it, is he Irish or Scottish? I can't remember.
he's definitely a northerner. I don't know what part. Maybe like close to like.
I'm
Help
gonna
us out.
guess Scottish, and then like he's immediately gonna get offended.
No, he's not. I don't think he's Scottish. I think he's more up north. Okay, no, not more up north than Scotland, obviously, but he's probably somewhere between like Newcastle, somewhere around there. Can you help us out, Cole? um, you do apparently have a lot of wigs. Apparently, I have seen you actually wearing a wig in a video
Oh
where
yeah.
you were. Yeah.
Oh, I got lots of wigs.
Great show, guys. Thanks very much, Manu, for watching. Really appreciate it. And Cole says he's going to remember that comment.
Cole will remember that.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you've had a great time watching this tonight. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please go and check out Daniel's YouTube channel. I'll bring up that for you so you can have a look. But it is Sticky Goose Comics. He's not far off 10,000 subscribers. And he does have an Instagram account that you can check out as well, which is at Sticky Goose Comics. So please go and check out Daniel's content. You'll either love it or you'll hate it, but
You'll
you
feel
will
something.
you will watch it and you will feel some emotion. So no, but really appreciate it. Great show, Daniel. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll say goodbye there. Thank you very much. Bye.